So, what if I told you there's one simple hack that separates the absolute best performers from, well, everyone else? It's a technique they use to nail it in the moments that matter most. And today, we're going to break down exactly what it is and how you can start using it.
Think about that. The best opportunities of your life, just gone. The idea here is that this happens to most people. And the reason why is actually surprisingly simple. They are just completely unprepared for the handful of moments that truly define their success. So, what is this hack?
All right, so the big idea we're digging into is this. Our success, our careers, pretty much our whole professional lives, they aren't really defined by the day-to-day grind. Nope, they're defined by a tiny number of critical, high-stakes moments. And the problem is, most of us walk into them totally cold.
To really get this, we need to look at one of the most high-pressure jobs on the entire planet, being a Formula One driver. I mean, we are talking about athletes operating at the absolute limit, where a single, split-second decision can literally change everything.
You see, for an F1 driver, it's not about driving perfectly for 2 hours straight. Their entire career, their whole legacy, can be decided by just a few crucial choices made across an entire season.
So, what are these moments? Well, they really boil down to just a few critical decisions. Do you brake later than your opponent to gain an edge going into a corner? Do you try a super risky overtake on a straight? Do you pit for new tires right now or try to stay out for just one more lap? Every single one is a massive gamble.
And listen, the stakes could not be any higher. We're not just talking about winning versus losing here. At 200 miles per hour, the consequences of a bad call are literally life and death.
So how on earth do they handle that kind of pressure? How do they make the right call when absolutely everything is on the line? Well, it's not just raw talent, and it's definitely not luck. There's a very specific method that they all use.
And that method, this simple hack we talked about at the very beginning, is simulation. That's it. It's the process they use to take these chaotic, insane, high-stakes moments and turn them into something that feels almost routine.
Okay, so what does simulation really mean here? This is the key. It's not just general practice, no way. It is the obsessive, repeated rehearsal of those specific moments, the braking, the overtaking, the pitting, every single day, all year long, so that when the real moment comes, the decision is almost automatic.
Okay, so this is where it gets interesting for you. How does this apply to your life? This whole mindset isn't just for athletes on a racetrack. The exact same principle applies directly to your life and your career. You just have to figure out what your high-stakes moments are.
I mean, think about it, right? Your career isn't the sum of every email you've ever sent. Just like that F1 driver, your entire path is probably going to be defined by a handful of key events. That one crucial negotiation, that one make-or-break presentation to the board, that one critical judgment call you have to make under pressure. The parallel is almost perfect. An F1 driver simulates when to brake. You can simulate the tough parts of a negotiation, maybe role-playing with a coworker. They simulate an overtake, you rehearse your big presentation until you know the Q&A section inside and out. They simulate a pit stop, you run through different scenarios for a tough judgment call. It's the exact same technique, just in a different arena.
So what is the ultimate takeaway from all this? Well, it all comes down to one really simple but incredibly powerful rule that pretty much governs success in any high-stakes game.
80%. 80% of the game is the setup. Your success in those critical moments, it's not decided in the moment. It's decided by the hours and hours of simulation and preparation you did beforehand. The performance, that's just the final 20%. The real work, the real victory, that happens in the setup.
So I'm going to leave you with this question. Just look at your week ahead. What is the single most important high-stakes moment coming up for you? And how can you start simulating it right now so that when it arrives, you're not just ready, you're 10 times better?